So this story is called The Bad Accountant. When I was first planning my YouTube channel, I knew that I needed to plan the back end, specifically taxation and business structure. As such, I needed an accountant. More so, when I watched one particular YouTuber reference their experience of being, fined by the taxman or taxwoman for not registering and paying tax. So this is the story of my first ever meeting with a potential accountant. Just to throw in a little bit of foreshadowing, it did not go well. Sigh. So let's begin. So how do you find an accountant, or how did I find this particular accountant? I think I did pretty much what every body would do. I surfed the seas of the World Wide Web for less than a second. Search engines for this. And found a few accountancy services in my local area. I picked two accountancy services and booked an appointment with each. Or so I thought. I write down the date and time of my appointment, print off some introductory questions, and wait for the appointment day to, roll around. And the day does. And at half past 3 on a cold and windy Thursday, English weather, I made my way to my local high street for my appointment. I get there with a few minutes to spare, so I take a look at the building where my appointment is taking place. It's... well... It doesn't look like an accountancy office or firm. And... well, yeah, it just doesn't look like an accountancy office or firm, yeah. Because the building is primarily a real estate office slash firm, with the accountancy office slash firm on top. A little bit strange, perhaps lacking a little bit of professionalism, but nothing that turned me away yet. So I walk into the real estate office and I ask for the accountancy office, where it is. A real estate agent informs me that the office is up the stairs. They also ask me to take a seat and that somebody will be down to see me. Again, a little bit strange. Again, as I said, lacking just a tad bit of professionalism if I'm being, met with a real estate agent instead of a receptionist. But anyway, I take a seat. I whip out a book. Can I say this? Can I say what book it was? Yeah, I'll say what book it was. It was Nancy Drew, the original series, the best. The book was called The Hidden Clock, I think. A great read. FYI. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait some more. And it gets to about half an hour later, and I still haven't been seen. And some of the real estate agents remark that it's very unlike the accountant to be late, but luckily one agent offers to call the accountant on my behalf, since I didn't have his details, and find out what's going on. And again, here, strange, there was this recurring pattern, this strange togetherness of real estate and accountancy that I didn't like. Nevertheless, the estate agent gets the accountant on the phone. The accountant apologises, unneeded, I should say, but I'll explain that unneeded reference later. And we rebook for a Saturday at 10:30. I initially offered an afternoon appointment, and again, the reason why I was, 10:30, is because, well, I'm not that big of an early bird. I do not catch worms early in the morning, I catch them in the afternoon. So as I say, I'm not an early bird, and morning appointments, they stress me out, but 10:30, the appointment was. Now, fast forward, it's Saturday, it's 10:30. I am waiting on the ground floor of the real estate agent's office to be seen. A few moments pass, and the gentleman I'm to see presents himself. Problem. He wasn't dressed as an accountant. Suit, shirt, just, as you would expect, just generally smartly. This accountant had decided to appear before a potential client wearing a puffy winter jacket, jeans, trainers, and what looked to be a few weeks of beard growth. Now, the beard growth isn't a problem. Maybe that's his style of choice. But when taken into account with everything else, the winter jacket, the jeans and trainers, and the expectation that he created on his website of a clean-shaven guy wearing, wearing a suit, that presentation was, I guess, just rather quite jarring. I, the potential client, was better dressed than the supposedly professional accountant. Strike one. Also, his handshake. I don't know why I remarked this, but why I've written this down. But I've written down that his in my notes upon the meeting that his handshake was noticeably weak. But I'm looking back over that now, thinking, was I expecting a really strong handshake? But anyway, not a big deal. But as I've written down, it is something that I thought about while he was shaking my hand. Oh, this is quite a weak handshake. But anyway, as we're walking up the stairs, he apologises for missing the appointment on Thursday. And this is where I have to come clean. And I apologise to him. What transpired is that I had gotten my wires crossed on Thursday with another accountancy firm in the area, and so his apology was not needed. I actually felt rather quite bad that he thought he was in the wrong for a spell, when he actually wasn't. It was me, I'd gotten it wrong. I was supposed to be somewhere else. But I came clean and absolved him, I suppose, of his guilt. If he felt guilty, he probably didn't, but I came clean anyway and said it was my fault. Anyway, back to the stairs. We're walking up the stairs and we turn a corner. And what I see here is, I think, a little bit shocking. I turned the corner and it looked as if construction work was going on, but it wasn't. There was just clutter everywhere. It looked as if the hallway was a dumping ground for the real estate office downstairs. It looked really unprofessional, as did the office when we walked into it. There was no personal effects on the desk. It was just a small room, a single window, and filing cabinets that I presume were, well, empty. I got the distinct impression, thinking about it now, that this office wasn't really an office at all, at least not one that was used regularly, especially considering the clutter outside the office. So, strike two, I think. We sit down at the empty desk, I get out my question booklet and start asking him some fact-finding questions, before moving on to some business-specific questions. During my questioning, he came across rather quite abrasive, especially when I asked after his credentials. He also kept referring to company-wide statistics. The accountancy firm was a franchise, so I suppose that kind of makes sense, as opposed to personal statistics for the business that I was actually going to be using. He remarked that his handling of his business, he claimed he was the owner, and his company style was, and this is verbatim, he said that his company style and his business was casual. Casual. Right. His statement made sense when I took into account the office space above a real estate agent's office. Outside the office was trashed, and his dress style, winter jacket, jeans, trainers, very casual indeed. Perhaps other clients liked that style, and I could understand why he was now, pushing that style if the whole thing was casual. But I didn't like that casual, informal style. But I could have perhaps let all that go if it wasn't for one thing. Tiny thing, one word. This accountant, acting as a professional, decided to decided during our conversation to use profanity. Profanity. No. No, 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 no. As soon as he used profanity, I mean, I understand the whole casual nature of the exchange, but to use profanity, I tagged that. I remember sitting in the seat across from him. He used profanity. I tagged it. I logged it, and with that, like, that was strike three at that point. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. As I said, I could have let everything go if it wasn't for that use of profanity. I just couldn't get over it. And as I said, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. My impression was that this guy, this accountant just didn't care. And if he didn't care about his presentation, his office space, his language, it stands to reason, or at least I'm thinking to myself, is he going to care about my accounts? I'm thinking after this particular meeting that he isn't going to care about my accounts. So we wind up the meeting. One plus is that he was willing, though, to meet me on a Saturday at 10:30. So that was, a little sort of silver lining there, and a good thing about him. But with, as I've said, with everything else that I consider bad, it meeting me on a Saturday at 10:30 just wasn't enough, I think, to gain my potential custom. He also handed me a single marketing booklet, which seemed like an afterthought, as if, I should probably hand this guy something, so, here's his book. I did take it from him, and I was respectful and thankful and everything else, and I left. And that was that. And that's the end of the tale of the bad accountant. I think sort of bad or casual personal presentation, bad/casual office presentation, and, well, just oh no, printer's still going on. There we go. Now it stopped. As I said, bad personal presentation, bad office presentation, and bad language presentation. Just bad all round, I think. Anyway, if you have any encounters with accountants that have been, or just professionals in general that have been good or bad, let me know in the comments below, because it'll be interesting to read them. Thank you for listening.